Holy crap. I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, this is like, holy shit. They really got to figure this out, because if not, the Eagles really have to step in between now and the trade deadline to get this done. I don't know what's going on here. Jessie Bates looks like he's not going to – it looks like Jessie Bates is holding out. It looks like he's not going to sign his franchise tag. He's going to hold out the whole entire year, if that's even the case, wanting that big extension. Okay, obviously the Eagles had a big need at safety. I think they were looking at the Jessie Bates situation. He was, kind of available. Maybe teams have been calling. But the contract that the Bengals want to give him is $4 million more than his franchise tag. But I think it's $4 million more for his whole contract. I don't think it's $4 million more per year, which takes him under $20 million, at least like $14 to $17 million. I mean, that's ridiculous. And, you already know that Jessie Bates is going to be expensive just by looking at this and how much he is going to cost. But for this room, for the Eagles safety room right now, okay, and Jaquiski Tartt, I know I say his name wrong, so I know people are going to hammer me in the comment section, but getting Jaquiski Tartt, having Marcus Epps, and having Anthony Harris, you have, Andre Shashir and Maiden and Reed Blankenship. You have, there's nothing really promising. Getting Tartt was a great move because now you have depth, and I think Marcus Epps is going to be your starting safety this year. Don't have much trust in Anthony Harris, maybe as a role-playing safety. I think they just brought him in because he's a veteran and he's been relatively healthy, because Rodney McLeod, signed with the Colts, and I feel like he's just not the same player he used to be, and I think he's just on the downside of his career because of these injuries almost every year. I mean, it's nuts. But I think with Marcus Epps, he showed a lot of promise last year, and it is what it is. His coverage is a little suspect. But I'm glad they added a veteran in Tartt, and, gives you a little bit more depth in case if Tartt has to play either position, he will. But I feel like the Eagles will be in a market for safety next year. Maybe that will be the big signing next year where they put a lot of money into. If you guys remember, the Eagles tried going after Marcus Williams. I mean, they tried. They were almost close to that 5-year, $70 million number that they tried to get. But Jessie Bates offered this deal. This deal for Jessie Bates, the Bengals are offering, is 5 years, 14 to 17 a year. For 5 years, though. So I feel like Jessie Bates is going to want a lot more, because I don't think it's enough. And, because he's watching all these other safeties get paid. And I understand that. Okay. So when it comes to the contracts, it looks like Jessie Bates is going to hold out the whole entire year, or he's going to pressure the Bengals to trade him, because he's not going to sign his franchise tag, no matter if it's more than $4+ million a year. You know what I mean? So I feel like he's not going to play, and that's just the way it is. I think hopefully by the trade deadline, they want to try to get something done. What is it going to cost? I don't know. We've kind of talked about this, the past, few months. We were talking about Jessie Bates and maybe getting rid of Andre Dillard, which now I don't think they get rid of Andre Dillard, because I think they really need him, because you really don't have a backup left tackle. Maybe you have LaRaven Clark or something like that, but there's nothing promising behind that. Andre Dillard is literally the last line of defense at that position. If something happens to him or whatnot, knock on wood. But I don't know what the Eagles would give up and what Bengals really need on their roster. I mean, maybe some more offensive line help. They want to give him maybe a body or two or something. I don't know, but it's going to cost you a good penny to trade for him, and you have to pay for him as well. And these picks next year, you can't touch them. You can't touch these picks next year. I wish I could say that, hey, you got 2 first-rounders and a second-rounder. I wish I could say we could trade one of those picks, but I don't think we can right now because of this whole thing with Jalen Hurts and seeing if he is going to be the guy. I know that Jalen Hurts is going to play a lot better this year than last year. I definitely know that 100%. But is it going to be enough to say, hey, if the Eagles, if they trade for Jessie Bates, the Eagles keep these picks, or at least trade one of those picks away, then I have a good feeling that they're going to pay Jalen Hurts. But paying Jessie Bates on top of, you're not giving Jalen Hurts a $200 million fully guaranteed contract, or whatever the case may be. He's not getting that type of money. I don't think he's even getting $45 to $50 million a year. I just don't think it's going to happen. Okay, maybe Jalen Hurts will take a good contract, but not that it's going to hurt the Eagles. Maybe he will give the Eagles some flexibility. But I don't know what picks you're going to trade him for, because to me, it makes no sense right now. I mean, I would love to do it. I feel like maybe you have to wait until they let him go after this year. If they let Jessie Bates go, then great, because you have Jessie Bates, you have Derwin James. I mean, you got some. If they really want to push a lot of money towards that position, they have to wait until they're released or they are a free agent by the time their contract is up. It just makes no sense to go in and spend a lot and really, I mean, right now I just want to see what we have at safety. I want to see what Marcus Epps does this year next to Anthony Harris, and obviously Tart being that backup, and see what Reed Blankenship does as undrafted free agent in training camp and see how much he rises to the top if that's the case. Because I have no faith in Kevon Wallace. He's all talk, no play, no show, and this is a position we need to get right. And like I said, the Eagles tried their hardest to get this position right. And I understand they could have drafted Kyle Hamilton instead of Jordan Davis. I understand all that. But if we were right at quarterback and I knew 100% that we were going to pay Jalen Hurts and we were totally fine and we were going in the right direction. I mean, look, I think we're going in the right direction now, but, I don't think they're giving up these picks for next year. If they do, then I feel like they already made up their mind about Jalen Hurts. But if they do not, I just don't see it happening, them trading picks for Jessie Bates. As much as I would love him to be, I think he was, 25, 26 years old. I don't know if he turned 26 yet. I don't know when his birthday is, but I know he's 25 as of right now. A young starter that's going to really change the back end of this defense. Fantastic. Obviously, Jonathan Gannon has a lot to do with how he's using players and how successful this team is going to be because of him, because I think he is on the hot seat. But there's no compensation that the Eagles can give up right now for Jessie Bates. There's none. Unless they're not going to get a lot for him right now between now and the 9th week of the season by the trade deadline. And I'm not saying they're going to give him up for nothing, but maybe they're going to put the draft compensation down just a little bit. Maybe it's just a 2nd-round pick. So if the Eagles want to give away a 2nd-round pick and a player, I'd be totally fine with that next year. Totally fine with it, because I don't know what. Those picks are very important because I don't know what the hell we're going to be doing with them going into next year. So I feel like the safety position is okay, but definitely needs a big upgrade because Anthony Harris is only on a 1-year deal. And, Marcus Epps, I don't know what his contract is. I forgot if he has, I think this year or he has this year and next year. Not really sure. But I want to know what you guys think about getting Jessie Bates and him holding out. Does Howie Roseman, I would love Howie Roseman to swoop in, give a second and give a player that we kind of need, but we can afford to lose for now because we could fill that spot back up depending on who it is. So you guys let me know in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Shake Squad up, follow. So peace out, guys. Peace.